very proud of our effort. There's no doubt that our guys were locked in. The preparation was very good. And our coaches did a great job of preparing this team to have them ready to play. We had 2 excellent practices, especially Monday, and coming off of a game from Sunday night, which I think really set the tone for our week, and hopefully we can continue to build on that. I thought our defensive intensity and intelligence combined were really, really good. Really good. And when you go on the road, everything's got to turn up a notch. And for this team to have their first game on the road be a victory this way and to play the way they did, especially in the first half, says a lot about that intensity, says a lot about that intelligence. And on the offensive end, we did a very good job of moving the ball. And when you play, we keep trying to tell them all the time, when you play as a team on the defensive end and you play as hard and you're as competitive as you are on the defensive end, you come down and you get really good shots on the offensive end because you don't want to give it back. You know you're working so hard that you don't want to see somebody take a quick shot or take a challenge shot. You really share the ball. And I think for us to have 24 assists, to have over 20 assists now in 2 of our first 3 games, to score 96 one night, 94 another, speaks volumes about the way the ball's moving. And it's got to continue to do that. It just absolutely has to continue to do that for us to be successful. So we knew we were playing a good team. We knew we were playing in a great environment, even though it was our first time in here, obviously. But we knew we were matching up with an excellent coaching staff, and Marty and his group with high-level guys. Colt Ryan and Denver Holmes are guys we really game planned for, and you can see why. I mean, they're very solid basketball players. So for us, there's a lot of room to get better. I think they'll continue to understand that. It's a very humble group. It's important that they continue to do that, but it's great for this club to have a road victory, and they earned it.
How much more comfortable is this team just playing through Cody? It seems that they really fed off of him a little bit.
Well, but I think Cody feeds off of them too. So I think that's what you have when you have a group of guys that respect one another on the court. And Cody makes so many things happen. He's so well coached and well schooled coming into Indiana. He picks up things extremely fast. And again, you see it tonight. You can go at him and you can play through him. And when you've got 24 assists and the ball moves the way that it did, there's a lot of guys that are making that happen. But it certainly helps the attention that he gets when he catches the ball, and his ability to see, and even more so his willingness to make those plays and passes is what really separates him. And I think he's very enjoyable for these guys to play with.
What do you think game planning for Colt Ryan? How good was Vic just as a primary defender on him?
I think Vic did a good job, but in a game like this, it wasn't going to be just as much about individual defense, because there was going to be a lot of switching involved, and there were going to be a lot of isolations. We knew that they would isolate. They isolated a little earlier than we thought. We put in a different coverage today. We were good at times with that, less than average at other times. It's something to build on there. But I thought Vic did a very nice job, and I thought we got really good contributions from the bench. And I mean, again, you didn't ask this question, but when Verdell plays, Verdell had 10 deflections. His defensive intent from the beginning was outstanding. And all of a sudden he turns around and he nails 4 threes. You know, when you've got guys that are really setting the tone for themselves and their teammates on the defensive end, it's amazing how how many good things can happen on the offensive end.
Is this the best you've seen your team play in your 3 years here?
This is a new team. This is a new team. It's a new year. It's our 3rd game, and that would just be, in 3 games, it probably is, because it's a road game, and to have that. But we're not looking back at the years past, and we're not looking forward past the next game when it comes to getting ready.
Coach, take out of the fact that you just had so many guys all play this well at the same time, especially the first half.
Well, I think it speaks volumes about how they're practicing, and to turn around and play as well as they did Friday, come back, short turnaround, play pretty well on Sunday, and then lock in and have as competitive a practice as maybe, it's definitely as competitive a practice as we've had in Indiana this year, and maybe in a long, long time on Monday, and have them come into the road with that kind of spirit was really good. So there's a respect for one another. They battle with one another, and now when they get into the games, there's there's more of a camaraderie that's developing all the time, especially on the defensive end.
Coach Christian got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but he was able to, respond, had 15 points tonight. Talk about how important it was to get him back.
Defensive energy. He missed some quality time. When you miss the time that he missed at the start of the season, and he was playing at an extremely high level in our workouts, and he missed valuable time, which meant his conditioning, his rhythm, all those things were not where they needed to be. He just needed to make sure that he had his mentality adjusted to where it needed to be on the defensive end and on the rebounding end, and to turn back around and have 15 and 8 and defend the way that he did. And he had some very tough matchups tonight as well, and he'll continue to have that. So again, he's a product of how he's practiced. He's a product of his mentality, and if he continues to do what he did the last couple of days, he'll continue to have more good days like he had tonight.
40 points in the paint. I think Christian was a big part of that as well as Cody. I mean, just how important was it to get the ball in down
Very
low,
important.
especially?
Very important. And we could have done a better job of it in the second half. But the first half we were really good with that. And that's something that we pay as close of attention on the offensive end right now on our bench as anything else that we do. Deflections on the defensive end and how that ball is being posted and what's happening on the post on the offensive end. And not just, paint touches with the ball or drives, but post-ups. And it's really important. It establishes the tone for your team. We've wanted to play like that, obviously, for some time. It hasn't always been able to do that. But we want to continue to build on that, especially with this club, and I think that we will.
How much does a victory like this on the road help the confidence going forward?
Oh, I think you ask them. I think they'll say it does, but it'll play itself out. I think it will. I don't think there's any question it will. And it'll really help them because there wasn't any real wavering. Maybe play as well in the second half as we did the first, but we still scored a lot of points. We still shot in the 50s, and we still got good looks, and we didn't settle. And I think that's where the confidence comes from, when you can keep playing possession after possession, and then you do it on the road. It's just a valuable experience for a couple weeks when we go to NC State, and then certainly when we get into the Big Ten.
You mentioned last question.
Well, we got
The 24 assists on 33 baskets, I mean, it's just an incredible ratio. What are your thoughts on that kind of movement?
Well, I think first off, our spacing is pretty good right now. I think if there's one thing that's improved offensively in the last week and a half, it would be that. And really, we have not watched a lot of film up until really. We've still watched less than we've watched maybe forever in my head coaching time, because we've been on the court so much of using our 20 hours towards that, more so maybe than the film, other for some preparation. But when we have, it's been very detailed for them to see okay, this is what the corner is. The corner doesn't mean this, the corner means that. And really, we always talk about staying committed to the spacing, finishing your cuts. Those are the kind of things that we're starting to do with a lot of room for improvement. But the big deal tonight was going to be if we drove into a crowd and tried to force a shot, we were going to lose. We had to draw a crowd and make a pass. And our players really understood that, bought into that, and I think the proof is there that they did.
Speaking of that, and also mentioning Verdell's threes, I think a few of those were when Verdell kind of got lost in the corner, and it was Vic kind of driving, middle driving, kicking it out. That's not something, positions you would have probably seen either one of those guys in a year ago. What's that say for the way these guys, especially the guards, have kind of diversified their game?
They're developing. Our coaching staff does a great job of helping guys. That's a product of Cook Hall, being in there late at night, working on your game, and they're just building more togetherness because they're around each other so much. But I think diversification is a good term. You want multi-dimensional guys. You want guys that can do a lot of different things. The key is that we keep staying in character with this now and keep understanding that it comes from the next pass, but most importantly, it comes from the defense.
Okay, guys, we got to head out there, getting ready to come in. Thank you.